All right, so now we're going to work backwards. I'm going to tell you what to start with, and you're going to make these transformations and come up with the new function. We're going to call it g of x. So first one says vertical shrink by a factor of 1/2. All right, going back to our cheat sheet, I'm using it backwards. If we want to do a vertical shrink, that means, let's see, vertical is this line. Shrink would be I'd have to multiply by a number between 0 and 1. So outside and multiply are the two things I need off of there. So vertical shrink by factor of 1/2 means I'm going to take g of x equals, here's my original function, and then according to my cheat sheet, we're supposed to multiply outside by 1/2. And that's it. Okay, next one says reflected over the x-axis. So I'm going to have my original function. Okay, let's go back to our cheat sheet. It says reflected over the x-axis is that one, which means put a negative outside. Do that without all this stuff on it. Okay, we are doing reflected over the x-axis. So reflected over the x-axis, that's what I'm trying to do, which means we're going to put a negative outside. Okay, negative outside. Next one says horizontal shift right 3. Okay, right 3. I'm going to start by writing down my original function. To my cheat sheet. If I want to go right 3. Well, apparently to move right, you need to subtract inside. So I'm going to subtract, whoops, let's do that again. Bleh. Use bleh. I'm going to subtract 3 on the inside. Vertical shift up 4. I'm going up 4, so I'm going to start with my original function. Look back at my cheat sheet. If I want to go up, that means I need to add outside. I'm going to go plus 4, sorry. Reflected over the y-axis. Okay, reflected y-axis. I'm going to look at my original function. Back here, my cheat sheet says if I want to reflect over the y-axis, this time I'm going to put a negative again, but this time it's going to be inside. So we're going to put a little negative inside there with the x. Oopsie. Oh, bigger than I expected. So negative, oops. It's okay, I'll catch up. So we had square root of x and we threw negative inside because it was over the y-axis. Right, next one says horizontal shift left 7. Start with my original function. And we're going to apply some changes to it. So cheat sheet says if I want to go left, it's this guy right here, that means I need to add inside. Okay, so our change is that we're going to go plus 7 inside. All right, next group. This one says vertical stretch by a factor of 2. So I'll start with my original function. Look back at my cheat sheet to do a stretch. Got my number, and I've got to multiply outside. Okay, that multiplying outside always just goes in front of that radical right there. So it's by 2 out in front because it's at a stretch and it's a factor of 2. Okay, vertical shift down 8. I'm going to start with my original function. G of x equals square root of x. And then if we need to go down 8, upside down means we're going to subtract. So here's down, subtract outside. Okay, so minus 8. Okay, so you should be able to use your cheat sheet. Maybe you don't need them. You need to know where each of the steps goes. That's fine. Let's combine a couple of them. So we're going to go translation 2 units up, and then we're going to have a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. There's our original parent function. So our new function is going to be g of x equals. Now I'm going to start by putting in the original function, and then we'll make changes to it according to the transformations provided. 2 units up. Cheat sheet says, oops, if I want to go up, then I need to add outside. Okay, so plus 2. Now the next one says a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. Okay, we're doing a stretch, which means multiply, and where do we multiply? Outside. And that's it. That's our new function. G of x equals 3 square root of x plus 2. Okay, next one, here's our original function. So I'm going to write that down to get started. G of x equals cube root of x. And we've got 2 transformations given. One of them says reflection over the y-axis. Second one says a translation 3 units to the right. Okay, let's go with the reflection over the y-axis. See, y-axis means a negative inside. So we're going to throw a little negative right there. Next one is 3 units to the right. Okay, cheat sheet says to the right, you subtract inside. So it would be like a minus 3 there. There's actually more to it than that, but we're going to leave it at that and not worry about it. Okay, and that would be your final function. G of x equals the cube root of negative x plus, minus 3.